convincingly as well. The Knicks, I think they were 4 or
They were
5.
third. They were third, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Who cares about the Knicks?
Who cares about the Knicks? Yeah, that's been our MO since the 90s. And then I think, and then the team that gave us the most trouble, the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, the number 2 seed, he got off to a 3-0 start against the Celtics,
Amazing.
man.
Amazing.
Amazing.
We were on a
Everybody,
cloud 9.
yes, everybody thought we were gonna sweep them, and we were just gonna, roll right
Gentleman
into the
sweep. I thought at
finals.
least a gentleman sweep. A gentleman
Yeah.
sweep, 4-1, but whoa.
But man, yeah, but they gave us a lot of trouble, man. They gave the
But
Heat
I'll
a
take
lot of
last night.
trouble.
But I'll take last night. I'll take
Of
last night.
course.
The way it happened, it was poetic. It was wonderful.
Mhm.
In the Boston Garden,
Yeah.
the royal, the traditional royalty of the NBA
Mhm.
moving, getting bumped out by the up and coming royalty. Because you have to talk about Miami. I know people are gonna say, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Yeah, it's a young franchise. But if you look at the accomplishments that they've done, especially lately in the last 10, 15 years, Miami is the top, if not the
Yeah.
top team in that period.
Well, I would say Golden State.
Golden
but
State's won several, right?
Yeah.
But it's Miami's there. Miami's
They
there. You got
are.
to talk to them about royalty.
Yeah,
Miami's
man.
royalty. Without the core players that Golden State has, they've always kept that core 3-4 stars.
Yeah.
Miami hasn't done that. Always.
Golden State has benefited from keeping their team. Miami, obviously we had the big 3, made 4 straight finals, but then, LeBron leaves, Chris
We went
Bosh
down.
ends up getting that blood clot. Dwayne Wade leaves. He ended up coming back later, but initially, yeah, man, we weren't able to keep that going, which was unfortunate. Maybe it would have been great to see LeBron retire as a Miami Heat player, but he chose.
He's gone, man. I forgot about him.
Of course,
I got rid of that
course.
jersey.
And the best part is
quick.
There's no team in the maybe not in the history of sports, but there's no team that has recovered the way that the Miami Heat has after losing a player like LeBron. We've all seen teams like, man, they fall off. Nosedive, yeah.
You know what? You know what's the best thing? You know what's the best thing?
What?
That the plan was for next year. Because next year is when the big money is available. Next year is when the whale's supposed to come in. So everything that's happened has been a great bonus, and it's a testament to what this franchise is. But the plan was 2024. So I can't wait to see what they're going to put around Jimmy or what's going to happen for 2024. That we'll see.
But it's going to be incredible.
Let's win this one first. Let's stay in the moment. Let's stay in the moment.
Of course. Yeah, it's going to be incredible. But, man, the way that this Heat organization, man, they traded away like everything at one point. We didn't have any assets. We had to bring in all these G League guys. And with those guys, we've made, incredible playoff runs. Look where we are with a bunch of undrafted players. And I know that they don't want to hear that anymore, because a lot of these guys have been on this team for a few seasons already.
Yep. And
but still, you got to talk about that.
I love a quote. I just saw like a small clip with Jimmy Butler, and somebody asked him, and he goes, "I don't call those guys role players; they're teammates." And then he talks about that the roles change all the time. That he was out for a long time, and people had to step up. And then on any given night, someone has a different role, and things happen, and that they've earned that respect, and you have to give it to them.
Yeah,
these guys are not role players anymore. They're not whatever happened, it doesn't matter. They're ballers. They're NBA legit ballers. Max Strus is a legit baller. Gabe Vincent is a legit baller. Caleb Martin is a legit baller. Duncan, that they were on him. He didn't have a great season last year. He's balling again, and he's showing why he's one of the top in the history of the NBA, top 3-point scorers, in percentage and all that stuff. These guys, it's a testament of the Miami Heat development and also the scouting, because you have to see the talent. It's a diamond in the rough, but you see the talent's there, and that's amazing.
Yeah, man, they found like a handful of diamond in the roughs with
if
this current roster. It's crazy.
You go back to the team's history and you start checking every year these guys that came in that people were like, "Who's this?" and you're like, "Wow!" So it's not luck. It's not luck. There's something. There's a method. There's something that they know that other people don't.
Yeah. Not only that, man, the way that they're able to work contracts to when they like look for looking towards next season. Andy Ellisberg is there. The Excel assassin crunching his numbers, figuring out, okay, we can get these two guys with under the cap space, and it's gonna be like a big three again, maybe. You know what I mean? Like whoever it is that they decide to bring in, it's just incredible how they're able to do like all aspects, man. They've drafted great players, they've brought in great free agents. They find diamond in the roughs, like how you say. It's incredible. They just in all aspects of building a team, they do great. And and when you compare them to teams that have been around forever that have 1 or 0 championships, it's not easy to do.
The Knicks traded away their soul when they traded away Pat Riley to Miami, right? Like the franchise, like that's the worst thing they've ever done. They gave away Riley, and it's the best thing that ever happened to Miami.
He left on his own accord.
I think there was a
negotiation.
No, there was a negotiation. It wasn't just like there was a negotiation.
Well, no, he faxed in his resignation, but they had, in order for them to what's it called? In order for them to be able to sign Pat Riley right after leaving the Knicks, they had to give something up.
It's compensation.
Exactly, they had to compensate the Knicks for that. But yeah, he left on his own accord. He faxed in his letter of resignation. And they've never forgiven him for that.
We love him.
They should have given him more. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that Mickey Arison offered Pat Riley, I think it was equity in the team. Whatever it is that he gave him.
We'll be talking about equity in the team soon too, about another star coming over here.
Oh,
but that's a different sport.
We'll get into that a little later. But look, speaking of Messi, because I know that's where you're going. Speaking of Messi, he leaves Barcelona, Barcelona's is an incredible club, but he leaves Barcelona and they nosedive. LeBron leaves Miami and they were 1 shot or 1 minute away from making another Eastern Conference.
Well, Barcelona won the championship this season.
This year, yeah.
After a couple of years, they managed to get it. Mm-hmm. But what's the biggest nosedive for Barcelona and for any place where LeBron lives is the economy.
Yes.
The money that these guys generate, and that's the biggest. That's what they will miss forever.
Yeah, but Miami, they didn't really take that hard of a hit after LeBron left, because the Heat have established themselves in South Florida as that team where they're gonna sell out all the time. They're not gonna be in the bottom percentage of teams as far as attendance.
Florida sports right now. Sorry, Miami Dolphins. Mm-hmm. The Miami Heat is king right now, and has been for a while.
They've been for a while. It won't take much for the Dolphins to get that back. They win 1 Super Bowl and that's it.
Because that's your first love, first love. So that, and if they happen to come back and something, and Tua wins the title, there won't be anything bigger than that. So.
Yeah,
but that has to happen. It has to happen.
It does. So let me ask you, what's been your favorite part of this Heat run so far?
Oh man, there's so many things. I mean, coming out and surprising the Bucks again. Like we own the Bucks. That we have their number. It's great. I'm sure that when they saw, it's Miami again. Damn. We might, but
lemon booty.
But that guy Giannis, you can hang out here in Miami full time next season.
Yeah.
Even though you signed that crappy contract over there, but we'll work it out. And then getting the Knicks, because I'm one of those guys that I hurt in the 90s when the Knicks would beat us.
Yes.
And I was like, dude, we lost again to these sorry mother effers. And then we would lose to them for them to get smacked around in finals and stuff and never win anything. So why beat us if you're never going to win anything?
Yeah.
So that was great. And then the Celtics, before 88, I believe was the year that I was always a Boston Celtics fan because of Larry Bird. I loved Larry Bird. So, that was the guy for me. I love Larry Bird. But the moment that he began, that was over. So I watched the Celtics versus Heat. There's no doubt who I'm going for. And last night I was with some boys hanging out at the bar watching that, and man, I was just so happy. It felt like if it was a fight where they're pummeling like the guy you hate, and they're just knocking them up. and everybody like, and in the guy's own city, right?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, and you see everybody just like, what is going on here? And that was beautiful. So what was beautiful? The last two games, Game 6, where Miami looked down again. There was 3-4 minutes to go, down by 10, and they came back, and Jimmy came back, made the 3 buckets, clutch,
Yeah.
not having a great game, and in those last 10 minutes, like just superstar mode came back out.
Yeah.
Went up, and then for that amazing play in the last play of the game to go down like that, and we were stunned, right? We were stunned, and then Shaq said, on the broadcast, he said something. He's like, "How is Miami going to react? How is Miami going to bounce back from this?" That's what I'm worried about, because I think he thought they weren't going to have that dog that they brought out yesterday.
But he should know better, because he's been part of a Heat championship team. He knows, but he was here before Spo. Spo was an assistant coach, so maybe
he was coming through. He came through the celebrity.
Yeah, exactly.
He said, "I'm gonna bring a championship." He brought it, but he it's not like he attached to the city. Like it's not like Jimmy. Jimmy, wherever he goes, whatever he does, he's gonna be Miami.
Yeah.
To me, he's always gonna be Miami because he embodies the Heat culture. So, and just
sure.
watching that game yesterday, enjoying it, letting everything out, and saying, "Wow, we're beating the crap out of one of the historic franchises in their home, and where we had a 3% chance to win the series."
3%.
You saw that they put 11% now against Denver. That cannot be. If that's AI, that can't be.
Oh my God.
That can't be AI. That has to be an AI that's messed up, right? You got to be joking. The disrespect, but just yesterday's game was amazing. Game 6, those storylines.
No, my favorite part of this whole playoffs has been watching Jimmy Butler like do incredible things that we've never seen. You know what I mean? And
popping threes, falling back.
Bro, not even that. Just the 56 points, all that, like all the things that he's done, and with the team that he's surrounded with, also
the supporting cast.
The supporting cast,
not the strongest on paper. On paper,
exactly,
it's not
on
the
paper.
strongest.
But those guys, like we said, those guys are all dogs. They're all playing great, but on paper, it's the weakest supporting cast that any superstar has, or that
has ever had.
I mean, they
in a championship. I'm talking about in a taking the team to a championship. None of the championship teams have been with a supporting cast like this one.
There's been a couple, maybe when Iverson played the Lakers.
Oh
maybe.
No, I'm talking about the Heat.
Oh, the Heat, yeah. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, no,
weakest Heat supporting cast.
Yeah, Iverson's team was pretty weak.
Yeah,
at that point, yeah. It was just him, and that's it.
Yeah, man. But yeah, dude, what Jimmy Butler's doing is incredible, and then also watching those guys step up that's always beautiful, man. When I remember, some of my favorite Heat teams are those young Heat teams where you see like guys that are becoming great players, and that's what we're seeing now. But we never saw those young Heat teams make it far. We saw them like play great in the playoffs. Maybe they get bounced like right before the Eastern Conference Finals or something like that, and we get excited for the next season. But now with these guys, we're seeing them get to the Eastern Conference Finals. We're seeing them get to the finals. They made it to the finals in the bubble. Now we're here again. We see Caleb Martin is becoming a star before our eyes. It's incredible, and he's a guy that was shopped to Miami by J. Cole, the rapper.
His story is amazing. His story is amazing. I mean, that is awesome. Those are the guys you root for. Those are the guys you want to succeed. And Miami's full of those guys. And that's the Miami story. And still we get hated on. That's okay.
Because they hate the fan base, man. They hate us because they ain't us.
That's right. They hate us because they don't eat, arroz con pollo, and they don't eat, with the frijoles, the black beans, and all that stuff that we.
For sure. That's sofrito.
That's okay. That's it. We got everything down here, man. We got everything. This is like the melting pot, like they say New York is and all that. But this is the melting pot plus the beach, and everything's a lot newer.
Yeah.
So that's why they're mad.
Exactly.
Why are you mad, man? Don't be mad. You're gonna be mad when we win that championship. That's when you're gonna be
Yep.
mad.
That's right. That's right.
And I said we, yes, we. I'm a fan of the Miami
Oh,
Heat.
this is a super fan show
Yeah,
today.
it's a free space. It's a safe space for the fan.
Exactly. Exactly. And not only are the Heat doing this for South Florida, but so are the Florida Panthers. And in even more epic fashion because the Panthers swept in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I mean? So Panthers also haven't been there since 1996.
I remember that run. I remember that. I was here. I live. I've been here since 1979. But it's epic thinking a hockey team. This is like the Jamaican bobsled team type of story, right? In the Olympics. This is like a hockey team in Miami, Florida. It's just not going to work. And for a long time, it hasn't really worked. Like they've been, low key. They've always been great entertainment, but you haven't had what they have now, of course, because everybody's focused on the incredible thing that they're doing. But that's amazing how they're packing that place, how they have some rabid fans, some like people really into this, and it's a great story. It's a great story.
Yeah, man. And one of my favorite parts is that Florida Panthers also eliminated Boston in a Game 7 in Boston. So,
How you like them apples? How you like them apples?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's incredible, and I think they play in the same arena too. So that's gotta hurt. Yeah, they play the TD Garden.
Traditional, historic franchises, and the up and coming Florida. So is this a testament to the rest of the nation to saying, hey, Florida, you're always making fun of Florida. Watch out, we're coming for you. We're coming for you. So get used to it.
Man. And then you had the Canadians chanting, "We want
Florida. We want Florida. You got
out there in Toronto.
You got them.
Bro, Toronto fans, what are you doing, bro? That franchise is one of those cursed franchise, like how the Boston Red Sox were, that they never win, sort of thing. They're still going through their drought. So the fact that they're over there talking shit with the "We Want Florida" thing, they got it, man. They got what they asked for.
They thought they were getting a weak team, and they got the big cat, Gran Gato, got up there and whooped that butt.
The Gran Gato, I love that. That's a great nickname, El Gran Gato.
Man, the Panther. You saw there were these people on ESPN are hiring over there. Like they put out something where there was an ad, and they put like a leopard, or I don't know, a jaguar, a cougar. I don't know what the hell they put. They didn't put a panther. I was listening to it on the talk radio, and they're like, "What the hell? Who checks these things?"
Yeah,
and they put like a completely different cat. This is a panther. It's a big cat.
Oh my god!
And so I think it's part of the disrespect. And you know what it is? To say that the Heat has a 3% chance against Boston when they went to Game 7 last year, and the Heat had the Game 1 on the final shot.
Exactly.
And then it's basically the same thing. And I think the Heat improved a little bit. Also, they got a better team. But you give them a 3%. And then now you're going to give the Denver Nuggets, a team that has never made an NBA Finals, supremely talented, the best, the MVP, the best guy, the big man. You have to give them the respect. But an 11% chance for the Heat to win? You're kidding, right? That's a joke.
It's ridiculous. It's
a joke.
Yeah, bro. It's ridiculous. Now, I think Denver is incredible right now. You know what I mean?
Very talented.
I think that very, very much. And I do think that they're favored to win. But
they should be. They have home field advantage, right?
They do. Yeah, they do.
Home court. Sorry. Home court advantage. Let's keep it legit.
They do. You know what I mean? But 11%. Come on, man. You guys don't learn.
They're gonna learn because I think the Heat. I think these dogs are not gonna let them. They're not gonna let it go by again this year. They're not gonna. They're not gonna let the same thing that happened with the Lakers happen this time. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Jimmy's there and he's on a mission and he's gonna make it work.
Hopefully his ankle heals because he's looked a little suspect.
A little ginger, ginger. But I just think that whatever, it's all gonna go down You know, and then if we don't need another hero. If he comes back, that's another weapon we got there. You know, even if he comes back, you know, a few minutes, 10, 15, whatever, it's a guy that can pop because you don't lose that.
Speaking of weapons, the Panthers, man, for these past few seasons, you know, they get close to the playoffs or they make the playoffs and get bounced in the first round. You know, this is the first time that they actually advanced and then they made it all the way to the finals. But one new weapon that we have is Matthew Tkachuk. You know, and I actually just learned that his dad was also a professional hockey player, and he's one of the few people to score 500 goals in their career. So he's big shoes to fill, but he's filling it.
Wow,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's incredible. Like for you to be the son of a great player and you also become a great player, that's not that it's unheard of, but it's kind of rare. You know,
it's tough because you're like in the shadow, right? You're in the shadow, and then all this pressure's on you, and that. But if you fulfill it, it's amazing. And sometimes they go even better than. So hopefully he'll be even better. This guy did 500. Hopefully this guy does 600.
Yeah, seriously, man. And we got him off of we traded Huberto for him here, and Huberto was beloved in
That's
South
what I was
Florida.
gonna tell you. I mean, he's a household name down here.
Yeah, man. If you're a Panthers fan, you know, if you've
you
been
weren't
a
happy
Panthers
at that
fan
moment.
for a few
you
seasons,
weren't happy at that moment.
Yeah, you knew that it was a good trade. Like, because if you follow hockey, you knew that Tkachuk is an amazing player, right? But yeah, it's sad. It's sad when one of your favorite players gets traded away.
Yeah, that attachment, that emotional attachment, but it's
And he was
business.
here
It's business, nothing personal.
Exactly. But man, that trade just worked out so amazingly for the Panthers because Tkachuk has been lighting it up, man. That guy is
Tkachuk has been like the nunchuck, man. He's been hitting it right all over the place.
Yes, I like it.
He's on fire.
Yeah, man, and you know the team has embraced him as a leader. Even ¿cómo se llama?
Bobrovsky,
the captain, not Bobrovsky.
Oh, okay.
Bro, his name is. I'm having a brain fart right now. Anyways, give me a second, just because Barkov, Alexander Barkov.
Okay, Barkov.
Even Barkov has it talks about, you know, how they embraced Tkachuk and his leadership. How, you know, he's amazed how he's been able to bring the team together. And Barkov is the captain of the team. You know, that should be his role. But he knows
supposedly. Supposedly, because I've heard from more in the soccer realm and stuff that the captain isn't necessarily the leader, but you figure that's what we have in the mind, because, you know, he has a bracelet and he sticks out, but the leader, man, it's just, there's a natural thing to that.
Yeah.
And some people just inspire and motivate, but in different manners, right?
Yeah.
But the leadership, even if you're the captain, you can recognize and you can accept and work with someone who's a leader. You can have more than one leader also.
Of course.
But eventually
you see it all the time.
Yeah,
you see it all the time. Like, some guys lead with their play on the field. You know, that's how Barkov leads. You know, he shows his as he does it as an example. He leads by example.
Exactly.
He's not very vocal. When I covered the Panthers, even in his post-game press conferences, you know, very soft-spoken, which he continues to be. You know, but that's his demeanor. He's not, you know, he's not a loud and proud.
The rah guy, yeah.
Exactly. But you do need those guys on this team, and apparently, you know, that's something that Tkachuk is very good at, is, you know, bringing the guys together, and they hang out outside of work and everything like that. So that's
so important, man.
It is.
The chemistry within the team is important. It's like any organization, like anything, anywhere where you need cooperation and you need everyone collaboration, you need everyone to go towards the same goal, you know. And it's a lot easier to get people in that direction if you like each other.
100%. And some guys are able to grow into that, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like you've seen Messi now later in his career has become that. In the beginning, he was not at all. He was the lead by example kind of guy and showing his play on the field. Now, you know, you see that's him giving
that's a great example that you just gave. That's like exactly. You see his development, like socially and as a leader, outspoken leader. That's one of
because you see it now. He gives the pregame, speeches and all that stuff. He wasn't doing that before.
Oh.
So yeah, man, Panthers are gonna
legit.
face.
They're legit.
Legit. They're gonna face the Las Vegas Knights. I almost said Raiders. The Las Vegas Knights in the Stanley Cup Finals. Who is the Knights, man? The Knights. I think this is only like their 5th year.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
And they've made deep playoff runs each of their seasons that they've existed.
Yeah, I remember even the first year they were pretty good. It was like
first year they made the finals. First year they made the finals. It was incredible. So you see that sometimes, like rarely, but you see it sometimes where an expansion team, goes on a great run, but it's usually, they get brought back down to earth real quick. We saw Austin FC last season.
This year it's in St. Louis City.
This year it's St. Louis.
I don't know.
We saw a few years ago when Leicester City won the Premier League. They weren't in expansion, but they had recently been promoted to the Premier League. So you see it sometimes. It's cool to see the Las Vegas Knights. They did it their first year and they continue to do it every single year. It's incredible. I don't even know how do you do that? How do you build a team from scratch, like to be good right off the bat? Usually it takes a little bit, man.
There's great administration, but there's the luck factor involved.
There has to be
things click. Click, works out.
I'm sure there's a bunch of guys on that squad that they were brought in because they're good, but they didn't know that they were gonna click so well. I'm sure that has to be something.
The pieces fit perfectly, and it was meant to be. Like if it was meant to be.
Oh yeah. So, shout out to the Florida Panthers. Both. One of my favorite parts, Heat and Panthers, is that they were both the 8th seed.
Historic what they're doing, both of them.
Yeah, bro. So, if we're gonna put out some Gaye 8 seed shirts coming soon.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. You have some good ideas.
Thank you.
Get it done.
We gotta do that before somebody listens to this and puts it out before us. Another guy I wanted to talk about in the Panthers is Bobrovsky, man. I know since we brought him over from the Columbus Blue Jackets, he's had his ups and downs. There's been some games where he just, he's Swiss cheese and everything goes in. But
he's human. He's shown he's human.
Exactly. And they paid a lot of money to bring him over because in Columbus
he was a brick
wall.
Were upset. Yeah, people were upset. I remember people were upset.
But now he's reverted to that form where he's a brick wall once again. And he is the main reason. Him and Kachuk, they're 1A and 1B. I don't know who you want to make 1A and who you want to make 1B. I would put Bobrovsky as 1A as the main reason why the Panthers are where they're at. Because man, he's had like incredible save after save after save, and the amount of saves is incredible. Also, it's not like he's saving just 20 shots. He's up there. They're peppering him, and he's negating all of it. So, shout out to Bobrovsky, man. Bobrovsky, painting beautiful pictures. That's one of my favorite things that we do. Every time the Panthers win, we tweet out that picture of Bob Ross with Bobrovsky's face on it, and he's painting the Panthers logo, or the mascot. He's painting Stanley P.
That's nice.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, and it's gonna be back to back, like the Heat play, and then next night or whatever, and it's gonna be like that back and forth. So you're gonna be able to watch one, enjoy it, and then the next night you watch.
No, that's true. We got who starts on Thursday? Heat start on Thursday. Panthers start on Saturday, I believe. So. And the NHL and the NBA, they kind of work together to make sure that the games are not at the same time.
You have to.
Which is amazing. If you're in South Florida.
It's only the smart thing to do, right?
Bro, don't talk to me for the next 2 weeks at night because I'm busy. I got plans already.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God. That's going to, South Florida's gonna blow up, bro. The bar scene for the next 2 weeks is gonna be. If you're a waiter
sports bar
or a bartender right now, you're gonna bank take all the extra shifts you can because you're gonna
I
bank.
might get a part-time doing that, bro.
Seriously, I should have. I don't know why I didn't. So from the top, then we got to drop it now a little bit. You know, we can't have all our teams be the
I'll
best.
take you to the top, and then I'll let you drop. Yeah. We're talking about. We must be talking about
Inter Miami, bro.
Miami CF.
Yes. Talk to me, bro.
Oh man, we're going through some hard times.
Yeah.
The team's going through hard times. I labeled Phil the cat. I don't know if he's read my stuff or anything like that. They probably do. I think sometimes they read it because I see their impressions. But I labeled him Phil the cat because he's got more lives than a cat. You know.
Yeah.
He has it. He's stuck. He's stuck through all this. He's been up and down, and he's been there. And there has been no inclination to fire him other than from the fans. If it was the fans, he would have been fired a long time ago.
Yeah, last year.
But I've always maintained that he is part of a plan. Get them through the sanctions. He was brought for that purpose. He's weathering that storm. He's handling that. He's taking all that on because there is a lot. There is a lot against the team. Look at the Galaxy. This is the first year under the sanctions, and they got 9 points.
Yeah,
and they had a better structure and team to begin with than Miami did. So they didn't have as bad of an issue as Miami. And look at how crappy they're doing.
What did the Galaxy get sanctioned for?
It's something similar, I believe, to the financial issues with.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the specifics, but I know it's something similar to that. But back to Miami. Miami, they're Jekyll and Hyde, right? They start the season. They started the season, and we thought, oh man, they beat two really good teams. This is a solid squad, and then they'll lose 6 games.
Yeah.
And in those 6 games, in 4, they played well enough where they look like they should have won the game, but they just can't put it in, which is still the issue that they're having now. And then they win, 3 games against 3 of the top teams in the East, back to back to back. You don't just do that and suck, because I don't think Miami sucks. I think there's issues with the team. Number one, they can't put the freaking ball inside the goal. This last game against Montreal, they're ineffective. They had several opportunities to put the ball in. All they needed was one, and then come back with a draw. You get a point away from home, you're happy. They could have won that game. They could have won that game. They have Stefanelli, who's starting to play a little bit better now, ripped a beautiful shot. And this is, I'm not trying to be advocate for Inter Miami, but sometimes I think somebody did some brujeria to that team, dude. like somebody got a Beckham little doll, and they're pinching that shit. And they got a doll from Phil, and they're pinching that shit too, man. And they buried that over there in Fort Lauderdale, because Stefanelli gets a ball and gives a beautiful whack. And what happens? It kind of like glances off the defender, just a glance. And that glance was enough to make the ball rise enough to hit the pole, boom, and bang out. If it doesn't touch the defender, the goalie's diving, and for those beautiful pictures where you're diving just for the picture, and that ball's blowing in there, but it just glanced the guy. And like that, there were several other plays. There's one where they got a good ball out wide. Ian Frey gave it out wide to Campana. Campana gave a good pass in to Coco. Coco comes in, and if Coco would have been, like the type of player that I like, which is a guy that can kick with either leg the same, it's very hard, right? He took a touch to set up with his right, and then he kind of rushed it, because when he took that touch to set up, maybe he could have done another touch to try to get some space. But the goalie, closed the space. He gave a good shot, got blocked out, and there's several plays. There was one, I don't know if it was that one. Oh no, it was. There was also with Kremashi. He put a ball in, hit the pole. Came in for Stefanelli. Stefanelli kicked it. The goalie was already going in a different direction, and the stinking defender Waterman, like with his toe, taps the ball out, like hits him. Like they had opportunities to win that game, and they didn't. They've had opportunities to win other games, and they haven't. The ball doesn't want to go in. What's the reason? I don't know. You have Campana, which I'm a little bit worried, and I wrote about that, and I asked him a question after this last game, because they took him out in the 60th minute. And he told, I asked, point blank, hey, is he injured? What's going on? said, no, it's, I thought he was tired, and he's been playing all these minutes just to a tactical move. But that's, to me, is suspect because, dude, you're 22 years old. You're 22 years old. You're Campapi. You're 6'2", built like Adonis, like a god. You're at a soccer, and you just got back. He missed the first 6 games of the season. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's been playing, 8, and even if he's playing all the minutes, which he hasn't played all the minutes, you're 22 years old. What's going on? So I'm not sure. I hope it's not an injury or anything like that. But it's just the ball doesn't want to go in for them. He's tried different things. He's tried different formations. He's tried people up top. He's tried 1 forward. He's tried 2 forwards, 3-5-2, like 4-2-3-1. Like he moves it around. I don't like the fact. One thing that I will criticize is the fact that when late in the game and throughout the game, his moves are pretty. It's like they're written before the game. Like you know what he's gonna do. And then at the end, he'll put in one game. He put in Noah. I think it was his Noah. This last game he put Noah, and then he put Neville Harvey. They're down. They're down 1. And I thought that maybe they had this young kid, Jake Lacaba, who's an attacking player and very, very not big name. It's like to me, he's going to be like a Caleb Martin, right? It's a guy you bring in. I think he's a guy you bring in that's very talented, but he's overlooked. So
is he from the academy or no?
He was in the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Okay.
He played. He's not a household name, but I think he's talented because a few times that I've seen him play, I see something, and what I see is the confidence that even though he doesn't get all this stuff, he believes in himself. He goes forward because we don't have a player now. The Inter Miami doesn't have a player like Rayito last season. Remember Emerson? Everybody hated Emerson. But you know what? You're missing an Emerson right now, which is one guy that can take on a player, force the other team to shift, move, and open space for players. We don't have that.
Do you think they bring Rayito back?
If they don't sell them, they're going to.
Because he's on loan, right?
Yeah. If they don't take his option, which I don't know if they're going to do it or not, they're going to have to. And I think it'll be a good thing for them because I think he'll come back a little more mature. I mean, they had to take in Rodolfo. Pizarro. They didn't want him. I mean, that's the obvious. And now they have to make it worse. And still, he started pretty decent. And they're missing him. Everybody's knocking on him that he sucks. You know what? He's missing in the midfield because they're using Cremashi, and Cremashi's going to be a stud. Kid, 18 years old, no fear, heart of a lion. I said that he's one of the guys that attacks great, attacks very well, comes back defense. He's all over the field, but he's not the 10 for a team, in my opinion. I'm just, who am I? Nobody. But you know what? I don't see him as the 10, and they've put him on the 10. I think that's a big burden for that kid because that's not his profile. It's not. I just don't think that's his physical. That's his profile to play. The 10 is an elegant, more an elegant player, looking forward, scoring. He's more about, to me, an box to box and even a defensive midfield, just in my estimation. And they're using him as a 10. So there's nobody there, and we're waiting for Lionel to finally decide. Hey, I'm going to. Today there's news breaking out. Cesar Melo, the guy from Argentina, that a few weeks back I tweeted out, I retweeted what he said, that there was no formal offer from Inter Miami, and everybody, this is full of shit. This is blah 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 blah. No, there's no way. There's over. And Messi, and they're still saying that for some reason. But Messi's own dad came out and said, "Hey, we only have one offer. We only have one offer." Exactly. His own dad said it. And people are still writing today. I see people still writing. That's bullshit. There's always been an offer. Yeah, maybe there's an offer, but it hasn't been formalized.
Formally presented.
It wasn't presented. Now it's been presented. The guy said, "Hey, the offer's on the table." His offer's on the table. The offer, he put it out like less than an hour ago. The offer's on the table. He didn't put the specifics, but we already have that general information. And the offer for Saudi Arabia is on the table.
Yeah.
Into Barcelona, what's going on? I talked about that, and I went back and forth with some guys on Twitter in regards to that. Barcelona, yeah, great. Oh, his heart is in Barcelona. Where's the money? Financial fair play and all the rules have Barcelona constrained. They have to do a million things to be able to get him. And the only way that he can go back is like basically saying, "I'm gonna play for free for you guys. because he's going to take a huge hit. He has to take a cut. I don't think he loves that team that much to take a cut. I think at this stage in his career, he says, "Hey, I want some money, so it's either going to be Miami or Saudi Arabia right now. Those are the front runners." And I'm banking on Miami. The team is banking because what happened? Number 10 and number 5 have not been assigned to anyone on the team. Who's number 10? You know who number 10 is. I mean, man. Who's number 5? Busquets. Busquets, Café, Bustelo, Busquets. So if those two guys happen to sign now, because the transfer for MLS is July 3rd to August. I don't remember exactly now. Their contracts, Messi's contract, June 30th, finito, which is already done. That's it. He's done with that team.
Yeah, he's not going back to
There is a possibility that he can come here. There's a legit possibility that he can come here. And if he comes here, there's a recharge, and Phil the Cat gets another 9 lives.
Yeah.
He gets another lives because
does he? Because I think Messi would want to bring in his own coach.
You think so? You think David go like that? Who would would he bring
in? What's this guy's name? Who was the coach of Atlanta?
You were saying that
Tati Martino. Yeah, Tata Martino, bro.
Yeah, he has my blessing.
Yeah,
do it. I have no worries, no qualms about that. I don't know if they'll do that to Phil, because if they're waiting for, I've always maintained that he's going to be till the end of the season.
Yeah.
If they're waiting for Messi to cut him, it'll feel like a stab in the back.
Yeah.
To me, it'll feel that way. But I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Tomorrow they play the Red Bulls tomorrow night, and then they play DC United Saturday. 2 very winnable games. They're in the 15th place, right? Last.
Yeah.
Ninth place is Montreal, and they're only 3 points ahead. So, it's more of the optics and aesthetics. Oh, they're in last place. They win the next 2. They could climb up to like 7th. So
the East is super tight right now. The East in the MLS is super tight right now. Like you said, only a few points separate, last place from, middle of the pack playoffs. So
how many teams have had injuries to major players like Miami? How many teams have the sanctions that Miami's facing? How many teams have 2 spots open and they're not using that? They haven't used that money, and they need it because they need 2 people. They need the bodies right now. People are going down left and right. How many teams have done what Miami has done? Not too many. And Miami's there in the a 6-game losing streak. Who's lost 6 games in a row? None of those teams have lost 6 games, and they're only 3 points away. Am I the eternal optimist? Perhaps.
Maybe, but to your point, when you were talking about how, all they need to do is draw a lot of these games. 6 out of their last 7 losses, or in their last 7 losses, 6 of them are by 1 goal or by 1 goal.
Because they can't score a stinking goal.
Yeah.
They can't score a stinking goal, bro. You bring in Joseph, the king.
Yeah. He's looked good lately.
He's got it. He's getting better to form. And you know what I like is his attitude. He's he's bothered. He's like, I think he's trying to put a standard into the club. Like, you were playing like shit. This is shit. This is shit. We need to be better. We need to be better. I need to get balls. I need to, and I like that. Let's see what's going to happen. But you need someone to give it.
That's like that Jimmy Butler effect.
Jimmy's. We need a Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
And I said it before. We don't have a Jimmy Butler on this team. We don't have a Jimmy Butler on this team that can put people on the back. And the team needs an attacking midfielder. There's talented players, but there's not that attacking midfielder. I had a conversation also, because I always go early to the games and I talk to people and stuff. And someone was trying to tell me Kramashi, as a 10. And I told him, can you think of Kramashi and then think of all the other number 10s? Let's just say MLS in the league. Thiago, think of Salarian, think of Acosta, think of other, 10s.
Yeah.
Does he play like them? Does he have the profile, the type of ability that they have? No, he's a different player. He's an excellent player, but he's not a number 10. So they're putting a lot of burden on and he's doing well. He's doing as well as you can expect for a kid that's just getting his first pro experience. I mean, he has no fear, and I love the kid. They have the other case is Miami has a lot of young guys that are gonna be studs. but it's a process for them. They trust the process. No, for those young kids, it is a process. And in a season or two, this team could be a powerhouse. This season, there could be a powerhouse if Lionel Messi and Bustelo Busquets come to Miami. They're 15. If those two guys come here, this is a different team. This is. Then everybody else is going to hate again from the nation. Oh, those Florida, not those Florida people again. And this is even worse because the Inter Miami people, we are so Florida with the cafecito and the loud banging and the music.
Pots and pans.
The rest of the nation is going to go crazy. The rest of the nation is going to go crazy. Messi to Miami. Let's do it. Get it done.
It needs to happen.
I'm going to text him now and tell him, hey, do it.
Do it, bro. Text them. I'm waiting.
after I get off. But look, what's the problem with Inter Miami? Goles son amores.
Yeah.
You have to score the ball. You have to put it in. Playing, and then at the end, some of the substitutions, like I was saying before, I never finished. It seems like you're losing, and then you put more defensive players in, and I understand that they're wingers and this and that. But it's just there's nothing. You look at the bench and there's nothing. I rather put like a kid like I said, no, put his ass. You know what? Put his ass in at the wing instead of Harvey, and because I'm not knocking Harvey because I know people knock on him mostly because he's a coach's son. But I think he's a good player. I think he's a good MLS player.
Do you think there are guys that are not getting time because he's getting time though? Like guys that are better than him. Or do you think he is
at right back because he comes in like right back or left back or he plays wing. There's not a lot of that on the team. Like it's Noah, it's Negri, Yedlin, Neville, even McVay can play. It's like it's a little group, and I don't think so. I don't think he's robbing or stealing time from anyone. I think he's earned his time. Last year, Ulloa would come in and play right back. Ulloa's horrible right back. He was horribly, and to his credit, he was out of position because he's defensive midfield, But Harvey, I think he's okay. I don't know if the next coach comes in and keeps him or gets rid of him. I don't know what, but I don't think he's had a bad season so far. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's been okay. He's an MLS player.
Right. So meanwhile, across the state, Orlando City is they're Hey, look, they are the consistency that Inter Miami fans wish they had from their team. The only thing is that they are consistently scoring, but consistently giving up goals at the same rate. Their goal differential right now is 0. It's not positive. It's not negative.
And they put 3 in on Miami.
They're right in the middle. Yeah. That's really 3 out of their last 4 games. They're undefeated in their last 4 games. Orlando is, but 3 out of the last 4 games have been ties. They've drawn each 3 of the last 4, with the only win coming against Miami. Yeah. So that team. I wouldn't say that they have a system in place. You know what I mean? I feel like those guys just know how to play with each other.
You think Pareja has a system for them?
Maybe he does. Maybe they just don't follow it all the time. Because sometimes, because when I see their matches, I see them, playing, the passing game, like kind of taki-taki-ish. Not exactly like that, but yeah. Find space, pass the ball, move it up, move it around, whatever. But then sometimes I just see them, let's just boot it. Let's just boot it real far.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. But I actually
Ivan
like
Angulo,
that.
Ivan Angulo is like Raita, the Raita of Orlando City.
Ivan Angulo, he's like that?
He's like that. He's super. He's got one of the quickest first steps I've seen in MLS. And he can take guys, but then once he beats his guy,
what do I do?
Exactly. That's when the decision making goes.
How do I score? Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, man. And he makes a bad pass, or he takes a bad shot, or he wants to beat someone else off the dribble when there's a guy open. Like, no, bro, give up the. You gotta know when to give up the ball. That's such an important skill in soccer, in professional soccer, knowing when to give up the ball.
The timing, yeah.
Yeah.
Simplicity is best. I always heard like the coaches would people growing up would say keep it simple. Like they say keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. And when I coach AYSO little kids, my concept to them was, guys, we're playing keep away, keep the ball away from them. If you got 3 guys here and he's open, pass it to him. And then we get it away and see that little area where we want to put it in there when we get over there. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. You know what? 3 guys are coming at you. We got 2 guys alone over here and 1 guy over here. Well, let's pass it over here where we got numbers. Keep it simple, but it's not as simple as that. The time and the space and all that stuff. But Orlando
honestly,
is.
I think Pareja had earned himself a lot of good equity, but with the U.S. Open Cup championship. Because if it wasn't for that, they would be a whatever team. They wouldn't be anywhere right now.
They'd be an Inter Miami. That's what you're saying?
I wouldn't say they would be an Inter Miami because they're a little more consistent.
Okay.
Yeah, Orlando's a little more consistent. Their Inter Miami's a lot more roller coaster.
But Orlando last season, they
made the playoffs.
Miami made it as the 6th. Orlando made it as the last. Miami passed them at the end.
Yeah. Miami did.
And they both lost in the first round, or Miami. Yeah, they both lost in the first round.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna pass you guys again in the end, and so
probably. Don't say you guys.
You guys.
I cover the team, but I'm not in Orlando.
No, you're Orlando, dude. You're Orlando. Yeah, you're not from here anymore.
How dare you, Xavi?
You're not from here. You lost it, dude. Yeah, you're gone. You're long gone. You're like LeBron.
I still own property over there, so.
Oh, okay. So you still have property in your name over here?
Exactly.
Okay. Maybe you're a little bit from here. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. I still have those ties. But yeah, man. That's the thing. This guy, he's. I don't see the team. They don't. I don't see them having any sort of identity.
You mentioned that, but let me tell you something. Personally, I like teams that can switch in the middle of the game from to bombing. I hate teams that stick to just the touching, because when you have this high pressure and it's suffocating you, you need to be able to launch that ball over. And I see teams still continue with the taggy, and then pressuring, and they can't get out. And sometimes they make mistakes, and it costs them goals. So I don't mind that if it's effective. It's just it's they're all professionals. The guys on both sides are professionals. They're getting paid to play.
No, for sure. But let me tell you, when what's this guy's name? Cara.
Yeah.
Erkan Cara. He scored in Orlando's previous 3 matches.
He's on a roll.
This past week. He was on a roll. But Atlanta they knew that they had to stop
contain him.
They had to contain him, and they figured out how to do it. And Orlando didn't have a response for that.
I see what you mean. And that's where the coaching comes in. That's where the coaching comes in.
Exactly. Orlando did score, first in that game. With some.
It was a tie, wasn't it? A 1-1.
Yeah, it was a 1-1 tie. Yeah, that's another thing that Orlando has an issue with is giving up goals late in games. So if it wasn't for that,
good for them.
Yeah, if it wasn't for being able to play the full 90 minutes, maybe they would be a little higher in the standings, just like Inter Miami. If it wasn't for them, being able to score one more goal in every game, or 1 goal in every game.
Score, just
exactly.
Score, please.
They would be higher in the standings. They're 1 goal differential away from.
I don't think they're going to.
And that's how close. 15th. That's how close it is, bro. That's how close soccer is.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think Miami's going to. They're 15th now. I picked them right now. I look like an idiot. I picked them 4th preseason preview, of the season. I'm sticking to that. I didn't expect, Mota and
man. they grew so much last season. You would expect for it to continue. If when you're bringing back your guys and you're bringing back the
and
coach,
supposedly got better. And supposedly got better because they did look. Negri has been a good find. Kristoff has been a good solid player.
Yeah.
And Stefanelli is a good pickup. And then the guys like that were injured last season, like Coco, is a decent player. He's a little inconsistent, and he's getting paid big bucks, man. They came out with what they get paid, and Coco gets paid, and he's not doing what he gets paid to do. He's not doing what he gets paid to do. So he's got to step it up. This guy's got Joseph makes $4 million, so he better start scoring. He needs to get at least double-digit goals this season. He needs to get at least anywhere from 10 to 15. I expected Campana to have 15 goals, but I also didn't expect him to miss 6 games. But there's still, you miss 6, it's 34 in the season. There's still a lot of games, 28 games, that you can score 15 goals. It's a good percentage, but I think he can do it.
All right, Xavi, we got less than a minute to go. What's your prediction for tomorrow's Inter Miami versus Red Bulls?
No, I'm gonna give you a prediction for the next two games. In Miami usually scores 2 goals, right? So they either win 2-0 or 2-1. So I'm gonna go 2-0. Let's go 2-1 with the Bulls and 2-0 with DC.
All right,
and let's just hope, because they can only score at home. They leave when they go. They leave the goals in the luggage at home.
All right,
they go away somewhere else.
All right. Orlando has on Saturday they have the Red Bulls, so I think in New York I think they'll get it done because Red Bulls are trash this season. And
so hopefully they'll beat Orlando. Okay.
Yeah.
They'll be pissed that they lost to Miami, and then they go up there and beat Orlando.
We'll see.
That'd be great.
Hey, awesome. Both teams got to figure something out, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. All right, Fungus.
All right, Lemonheads. We'll see you next week.